Thank you to Ren for sponsoring this video. The one thing the Nintendo Switch excels at above every other console is couch co-op. At a time where every single other company seems to be moving away from the couch co-op era, Nintendo remains stubborn and keep pumping out games which you can play with friends and family, both in person and also online. Even if they do make you download a mobile app first though. But it is one of the big reasons why I love the Nintendo Switch. As when I'm not sobbing at Xenoblade Chronicles 3, I enjoy playing games with my friends and my family. And although single-player games can be a great experience, the best memories I have with gaming are the ones I did with people in person. So today I thought I'd cover the best co-op games currently available on the Nintendo Switch. This list has a large focus on couch co-op, but we will be including games which will allow you to play online as well. Alright, we're going to quickly go over the couple of really obvious games here. First is Mario Party Superstars. We're not talking about the other one, it's not as good, we're just talking about this one. If you don't know what Mario Party is, it's an absolutely amazing take on a board game, where you roll a dice to move along the board, and once everyone has had a roll, you play a mini-game. The mini-games are so diverse and often have a great use of the motion controls that few other games utilize. And one of the reasons I love it so much is it doesn't matter if you suck at gaming, or if you've never even played a game before, you still stand a chance to win through the bonus stars. You can play this as both couch co-op with up to 4 people or online play also up to 4 people. Next is another obvious one, Mario Kart. You know it, you love it, and this can be played both online and couch co-op. And honestly, it's a great go-to for parties. I'm also gonna acknowledge Smash, but also not cover it, because nothing about Smash is comfy cozy, and it actually gave me repetitive strain injury in my thumb. Moving on. And the final obvious one is Splatoon 3, but that hasn't technically come out at the time of writing this video. I just know you're going to be able to play it online with friends, but we'll have to wait and see how well the online plays when it comes out. I also want to take this moment to thank the sponsor of this video, Ren. Climate change is something I am very passionate about as a woman in STEM, and over the last few months alone, we have really felt the effects of climate change, and we've really been able to see the effects that our lifestyles are having on the climate. Every single thing you do in your daily life emits some level of CO2, and that's where Ren comes in. The website will not only allow you to calculate your carbon footprint by answering a few questions about your lifestyle, it will also give you the means to offset your carbon footprint by funding a diverse mix of carbon reduction projects like tree planting and rainforest protection. Once you sign up to make a monthly contribution to offset your carbon footprint, you'll receive monthly updates from the projects you support. You'll get to see what the money is spent on with photos and details on every tree planted, every acre reforested, and every ton of carbon offset. As someone who's personally done a lot of research around climate change, I love the fact that not only is Ren doing things physically, like planting trees and that kind of thing, they're also trying to change climate change at its cause with policies. The first 100 people to sign up using the link in the description now will get 10 extra trees planted in their name. Okay, so the first proper game we're going to be talking about today is Toad Treasure Tracker, a game I don't think I've ever covered on this channel. I do want to quickly preface this game is great, however try and get it on offer because I'm not really too sure the amount of content you get is worth full price, but it is on sale often. This game can not only be played single player, but also as couch co-op. For those of you unfamiliar, this is an adorable puzzle adventure game that sees you run around beautifully animated levels. If you previously played this on the Wii U, there are additional Mario Odyssey levels added for the Switch release of the game too. So if you're looking for a cute game to play that won't emotionally traumatize you like It Takes Two, this is the game for you. Next is the Overcooked game franchise in general. I think there's 3 Overcooked games out now, and I've personally played the first 2, and they are great party games. This weekend alone, I have spent many hours playing Overcooked, and at least one of these games seems to always be on offer, so keep a lookout on the Nintendo eShop. This sees you tasked with cooking, and it is complete and utter chaos. The levels kind of also rely on you needing to constantly pass items between each other, or in my case, just lob them at each other. The more players you have, the more chaos every level is, and each level gets progressively more difficult. Not only do the recipes get more complex with more ingredients and cooking steps, the levels also get more ridiculous, with moving parts, obstacles, and so much more to contest with. You literally never know what to expect with each level, and that is why it's so great. Then similarly, we have Moving Out. This is basically the moving equivalent of Overcooked. Instead of moving food though, you're moving furniture. And again, it's a great choice for some cozy chaos. Next is Kirby in the Forgotten Land, and I didn't even realize two people could play this game. This has to be one of my favorite games that have come out this year, and sees you go to spectacular levels doing what Kirby does best, sucking things up. Each world is truly unique, and the abilities you gain are so much fun to use, and you can upgrade them and unlock so many new features. Outside of each level, you're also tasked with building up the town, allowing you to do mini games, and even playing a little gacha game. I was obsessed with the gacha game. So this game does have couch co-op, but I'd say it's far more suited for someone who has either never really played games before or someone younger, as the second player doesn't play as a second Kirby, but as a bandana Waddle Dee, and as a result doesn't get to use any of the copy abilities that Kirby gets to use. The Waddle Dee does gain powers later on when Kirby uses evolved abilities, but it's by no means a shared co-op experience. Mario Odyssey is also kind of uneven with its co-op experience, but to a lesser extent. If you haven't seen Mario Odyssey, it's easily one of the best looking games on the Switch. And it sees you also running around beautiful worlds, defeating enemies and solving puzzles. In co-op, one player will control Mario, whilst player 2 controls the hat Cappy. Although uneven, the Cappy role is actually vital, so at least both of the players feel like they get to make a difference in the game, and it can't just be done by player 1 on its own. Next, we have a personal favorite, and that's Rayman Legends Definitive Edition. This is mine and my dad's go-to game to play together. It's such a fun and quirky platformer that has a great range of level types and also difficulties. You can also pick this game up for dirt cheap on the eShop. It seems to be on sale so often. Player 1 and 2 have the exact same roles as each other. The only difference between playing 2-player from single player is the fact that you both have to remain within the camera range. I also love the fact that if you are getting bored with doing the levels, you can just slap each other. It's honestly such a good game, and the music levels are so good. Next is Stardew Valley, and the first one on the list that isn't actually couch co-op. I feel like I don't really need to explain what this game is, but even though there's no couch co-op, there is local and online play. So although you both need a Switch and the game, you don't actually need Nintendo Online to play together, and the game's been optimized quite well for 2 people playing. You can kind of go off and do your own thing. The only time it's really a hassle to be playing with 2 players is when you've just got to wait for the other one to fall asleep for the game to move on to the next day. But if you haven't already made a farm with your best friend, do it. It's so much fun. Next is the 51 Worldwide Games game. It sounds weird without the second game. I can't explain it. This is basically a game filled with board games and a few added extras. There's a tabletop football game, there's bowling, there's an air hockey game that are all so much fun to play. And this game also has couch co-op, online play, and the ability to play on different consoles with only one game. We're going back to the old school DS era, which was honestly the best, and I wish more games would do this. Now, although there are 51 games, some modes will not be available to you in certain forms of co-op. Like, for example, if there's 3 of you playing on one console, you can't play chess. There's such a big variety of games in this pack though, from classic board games to ones I had never heard of before. But this game explains everything so well, and it shows you what to do both visually with diagrams and animations, and will also read out the rules and instructions to you. Then we have another staple, Switch Sports. This is the #1 party game in my opinion, as no one is too old to swing a Switch controller around. Young or old, you're gonna have a great time, and it's one of those games where it's just as fun to watch a family member play it as it is to play yourself. It's also one of the few Switch games that captures the old school magic of the Wii, which I absolutely love. And yeah, the motion controls are improved on the Nintendo Switch, but they're not so perfect that they take away from the fun. Mario Golf and Mario Tennis Aces kind of fall into this category as well, although I will say they're both slightly limited as you can only play one sport, and Switch Sports is just generally a lot more fun and a lot more diverse. Next is a game I don't think I've ever talked about on this channel either, and that's Snipperclips. This is a classic co-op game, and I love how it's like nothing I have ever seen before. And whilst the game's premise sounds simple, you just cut yourselves up to solve the level, it can actually be quite difficult sometimes. To cut yourself into pieces, all you need to do is overlap with one another and snip. And like all good co-op games, yes, you can mess with each other. There's a huge range of levels to play. Just know this game doesn't really play as well as a single player, but if you're looking for a game to play with up to 3 other friends, it's a great game to go for. And then of a similar vein, we have Unravelled 2, another co-op game that this time can be played alone as well as with a partner. And it's packed with a ton of character. You play as a humanoid ball of yarn that can swing, jump, and tie knots, allowing for elegant solutions to problems you face throughout the game. And although this game can be played solo, the addition of a second player makes it so much more fun and makes solving the puzzles a whole experience. And if the story levels aren't challenging enough, there's an extra 20 challenge levels, and compared to the core game, these are way harder. Be it difficult platform sections or puzzles, these will definitely require a lot more time to complete. If you've played all of the games I've mentioned above, then fear not, I have a list of games right here that are coming out on the Nintendo Switch this month that you need to check out. I'll see you next time. Bye.